What is up, bros? Josh here. Today's video is a keeping you up to date video. Well, I thought I'd do a total keeping you up to date video since there were several posts, but this one was so big I thought it deserved its own video. And that is the new Naval Training Center. This is one that's been blowing up Discords, blowing up forums, blowing up Reddit. There's a lot of confusion, and I think I will talk about it today and give my thoughts on it and going forward. Now, just a side note, this is all preliminary, and it has been stressed from the devs that this is preliminary, but still, let's talk about what we know, my thoughts on it, and what I think they should do in the future. So the Naval Training Center, this is something we learned about last week at the CC Summit in St. Petersburg, Russia, which was a very awesome experience, but this is one of the things that kind of stuck out for causing more and brought up more questions than it did answers. A lot of us were tilting our head as kind of a confused dog, saying, what is this? Why is this? But there was some optimism. I like the base idea of this whole system, but the reward system was what's kind of getting me in the end, and something I'm very nervous about. However, let's dive into what the system actually is first, and then let's give my thoughts on the entire thing. So first of all, the system is kind of like the Paragon system in Diablo 3, if you've ever played that. So what it kind of is, simply the more you play, the stronger your character gets, and that's what we're going to see to a point in this. However, it's going to be very time gated and limited to a point how strong your characters can get. Technically in Diablo, your character can get infinitely stronger than somebody that doesn't have any Paragon. This one, it's a max of 3. However, what exactly it's going to be is they're going to use the same form as the Snowflake event, if you will, where if you played ships during the Snowflake event, you got a reward for it. This is kind of going to be the same thing. So what's going to end up happening is you're going to be earning new types of experience. Yes, LOL, a new currency that you're going to have to start working up, but it's kind of cool that you're going to be able to go through, and what's going to end up happening is each season, so these are going to be time seasons. We don't know how often they're going to be in a year. We don't know really how long these seasons are. I can assume a couple months. And then going through, so you're going to have a limited time, limited season, limited amount of time to do these. But once you do them, you'll basically get this experience, and you can use them however you want. So what we were told is that each season you're going to be able to pick 3 different lines and a max of 1 per nation. So it's not like you can do all the USN cruisers and then stack all that XP into one ship. So it's going to be limited to 1 line per nation, which will kind of limit the progress people can get. That seems to be the biggest downside, is people are like, well, if things can get to level 3 and I don't have even a level 1, I'm going to have a massive disadvantage. It's going to be pretty time gated, which I kind of like the idea of, not letting people just jump to level 3, but still people will have a certain advantage, and with the certain reward system as we see right now. But you will have 3 lines you can pick per season, and then 1 max per each. So let's just use the Russian, the IGN, and the USN destroyers for examples in this video. That's moving forward. So what you will do is you will pick one of those lines, and then you will then click that you want to start researching that. So you have to research that. Let's say you have the Gearing, the Khabarovsk, and the Shimakaze. So you've gone through all of that line. Well, you're going to click those lines and then relearn those lines. Pretty much, you're going to have to regrind those to get there. Now, you can use free XP to blast through that if you are playing regularly. You are probably stocking up a whole bunch of free XP since there are some ships to buy, but you probably have a bunch of extra ones kind of laying around. So if you have those signals and camos and all that kind of stuff, you now have a reason to use those. But you're going to have to regrind through lines multiple times. So what will end up happening is, let's say you pick the USN destroyer line, you already have the Gearing, but you want to start getting some XP for that. So you will click the USN destroyer line, you will then sell all of your ships. It's a complete reset. You don't grind them on the side, you will then just regrind that line. And once you click that line, you will then initiate it, and then you'll sell your ships. All the XP you had saved up on those ships will go to the tier 1, and then, as they say right here, experience again from tier 1, and you will then have basically an emblem saying once you have researched the ship, you get that XP. Obviously, the higher in the tier you get, the more XP you will get, and then you will grind back up towards the tier 10 of that choice, getting that XP. Now, one of the nice things is you can use the XP from any of the other lines and then use them to upgrade a ship. Because as you see right here in this photo, there'll be a certain XP as well as a free XP. So they haven't really told us how much free XP you will get, but as you go through, you will earn XP more and more. You can sell these as long as you go. Once you've researched the ship, then you can sell it again if you're tight on credits, but you will be regrinding that line. Again, only 1 line per nation each season. But you can use that XP. Let's say you're grinding up the the USN cruiser line, and then you can use that XP anywhere on the US line. Right now, currently there are no CV upgrades, so no reason to really use them on CVs, but you will be able to go up through the cruiser line, the battleship line, or the destroyer line, and then use them anywhere else within that nation. So it is kind of nice, but you will get the credits as soon as you sell them. So if you're like me, a collector, you have all these ships, and so that's one thing that a lot of people, especially in my Discord, have come up with and said, man, I don't have that extra credits to grind through. Well, you will get the credits back for selling those ships and then going through. You don't need to hold on to them. You can just sell them as you go up. But then as you continue up, obviously you can sell them, get your XP, as it shows right here, a little emblem of what ships have given you which XP, and then you're basically good to go. So what are the rewards? Well, there will be levels, and you will use that XP to start leveling. Let's say you love the Fletcher, and you take all of the, which is the tier 9 USN destroyer, you level up all those DDs again, you get that XP, and then you bump up that XP for a destroyer, the Fletcher, to level 1. Now for battleships, you're going to have 3 different levels. This is the one that they are experiencing, or they are pushing. This is preliminary, hardcore preliminary. So these things are all subject to change. Lots of stuff, trust me guys, lots of stuff is getting thrown at them for other ideas of rewards. This has been pretty unpopular. It was at the summit. It is in the CC discords right now with the devs. So getting these bonuses have been pretty unpopular, and we're really trying to help them out, get some cooler ideas to maybe give some fun rewards, but not quite give these. But currently what we have is battleships will get at level 1, 15% HP boost. So that's pretty nuts. Level 2, main armament expertise armaments. So you're going to be getting longer secondaries, better secondary accuracy. It's kind of what we've seen in some captain builds, if you will, another captain skill, survivability expert in a way here, basically a boosted up one. We have some flags and some commander skills with AFT here in a way. So there's some things here that we've seen in other forms, but you're going to get the bonus on top of that. And then consumables as well. So it seems like the first one is kind of more survivability, then aggression, and then kind of survivability again at the end with some consumables. Cruisers, survivability again, plus rudder shift time, could be pretty nasty on certain ships. And then main armament, obviously, more torp damage, better accuracy in a way, lower reload on consumables, level 3s, and then plus minus to chance of causing fire. So these are things that we've seen elsewhere, basically giving you bonus commander skills. So demo expert, this damage to torpedoes is kind of interesting. So this is a commander skill as well. So it's just bonuses on top of that. Now level 1, level 2, level 3, what exactly does that mean? So the example of the Fletcher, as we talked about, we have enough XP to level up one ship to level 1. So you can use all that XP that you earned on all the line of the USN DDs, and you use it on the Fletcher. You level up your Fletcher. Now that Fletcher has 10% more HP, minus 10% to reload on consumables, rudder shift, all that, yada, yada, yada. You get that. Now, one thing a lot of people are worried about is people jumping to level 3s right away. That's not going to happen. As we were told, and this has changed since we were at the CC summit, was it's going to be 1, 3, 6. So what that means is each season that goes through, you will be able to grind 1 level per each nation. Remember, again, we can grind 3 lines, but max of 1 per nation. So it was going to take a long time. This is an emphasis on wargaming building something to incentivize players for long-term play, which I love. I love that. Can I just say that? I love the idea of going back and playing the low tiers, regrinding through lines. Now, I know I am in a percentage of people who has way too much time on your hands being a CC and a WoW's Twitch streamer. I know that I'm kind of in the minority of that. I mean, I made a freaking second account just to play more things because I was running out of things to do. I love having the ability to go back and grind through stuff if I want to, use my free XP that's just sitting there gaining dust to grind through things. I love having the ability to do this. I love that they're reusing old content for basically free content and giving rewards for it. However, I'm not the biggest fan of giving people that have more time an advantage over people that don't. And what I mean by that is I really dislike having a combat advantage over this. Now, Wargaming is using the premium consumables. Yes, they are pretty big. If you really look at what you get for using premium consumables compared to not, it is absolutely huge. The advantages you have over players that don't use them is big. So that will help players, but still, I still don't like having some. I wish it would go more cosmetic. We'll get to that in a second. But one of the things about leveling up is you can't just jump through really, really fast. Now, from what it shows in this post, as you see right here, level 3 is right here. So let's say you chose a Minotaur cruiser. To obtain the first level requires 10 units of resource for the British nation. You reset your progress, fully research branch for the example destroyers. You re-explore it from the Black Swan to the Daring. On the way up, you earn 12 units and 2 units of free XP. So each line you go through, you get 2 free XP. You spend 10 units of resource for the British nation to unlock the level 1 upgrade for the Minotaur. To improve the Minotaur to level 2, you would have 20 units of that resource. So that means right there is you will not be able to, this is, some people are calling this pay to win, blah, blah, blah. You are limited. This is the time gating part of this. You are limited to how much you can excel at a certain rate. So it's not like you can jump to tier 3 or level 3 and have that big advantage. You are limited to the duration of 3 seasons to get that Minotaur in this example to level 2. So we were told it was going to be 1, 3, 6. They come up to this and say 1, 2, 3, but still 1, 2, 3 to get level 3. That's going to take 6 seasons. 6 seasons. Technically, it would take a little bit less, about 5 and some change because of that free XP of getting those 2 free units. Because technically, if you're going through all 3 each season, you'll get 6 of these and it will kind of add up over time. But you will take a long time. This could be years. I mean, just think of how many seasons we have in clan battles or rank battles. This could take years to get 1 ship. I guess technically 2 or 3. 2 or 3 ships to level 3. A long time. So we don't know how fast these are going to be, how long the seasons are, yada, yada, yada. And on top of that, you're kind of going to have this tug of war of, do I get the new free XP ship? Do I use my free XP to upgrade the new lines coming out, which I'd like, or do I use my free XP to grind through these lines really fast? Because day 1, you could finish all 3 of the lines you pick. If you have 2.5 million XP or whatever it ends up costing for 3 full lines, you could grind through it instantly day 1, but then you have nothing left to do. It's not like somebody that finishes a 3 can pick 3 more instantly and then pick 3 more instantly, blah, 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 blah. That's a good way of looking at it. So this is a big fear a lot of people have had, is getting a tons of levels instantly. Also, one of the things they want to touch on here is that if you earn, let's say the example of the Minotaur, if you earn Royal Navy points, you can't use those Royal Navy resources to then upgrade a IGN ship, but you can use that free XP that we talked about. You can use that free XP to kind of get through and use anywhere that you like. So if you really dislike one nation but you want to upgrade it, you can do that through that free XP, which is kind of nice. And this is them kind of touching on the rework of consumables, which is really nice. This is going to basically save people thousands and thousands of credits, millions of credits over time of people who just don't use that. One, it'll help people actually that don't have premium time, because you would be really surprised at how much using premium consumables adds up over time and really cuts into people not being able to progress through lines. This is kind of what Wargaming is trying to do. They're trying to push people into the higher tiers, and this is going to give the advantage. So, what it's going to do is give everyone the premium consumables for free, ease that up. As they say right here, this was a stat. I mean, for me, I've been playing World of Warships for so long. I've always used premium consumables. You know, it's always kind of a joke when you see somebody not using them. LOL, not terrible pleb consumables. But more than 50% of games are played without premium consumables mounted. That is insane to me, but it makes sense if you really look at everybody that's a player base. So this is going to be kind of nice for a lot of people, but it's going to help people also progress through this, because the idea of regrinding through lines and the credit burden that's going to add on a lot of people is definitely there. So there is also another update to the improved matchmaking. I'll do a whole video on that later for kind of a keeping you up to date. Maybe tomorrow I'll do one with all the topics. But just the gist of what this is I think this is a fantastic system. I like the idea. It gives people something to do. It's optional, which is wonderful. If you don't have the time, then don't do it. You're not forced to do it. That's the cool idea about this whole system. You get rewarded for, if you have the time and you want to go out and do it and you have the free XP and you have the currency, it gives people something to do. I like that this game is bringing more things. We're seeing more rank battles, more rank sprint, more things to do, more events. I love that. I almost love the idea of having too many things to do, so much of it being optional that you aren't really missing out on anything. However, it's when you scroll down, this is where the love of this new resource, a new system, I lose the love for it, and that's this. I wish they would have gone more the customizable cosmetic version, something that's a bit more of a bragging rights. I've talked about this a lot on stream. You can always check it out. We'll probably be talking about a lot of it today on twitch.tv/mejosh, so come check us out. It's probably going to be the hot topic for a little while. But I wish they would go more with like the Call of Duty, how they did it. Yes, the meme game Call of Duty back in the day. The more you played with a certain weapon, the better the look of the weapon was. You ended up getting gold skins. You got better insignias, better emblems. There's so much this World of Warships could do with a reward system that doesn't add this. This is where this system dies for me, and this is where I just cannot get behind the system. I love the idea of going back and playing ships I haven't played in years, playing ships that, regrinding stuff, giving you something to do. But with these rewards, Wargaming is pretty much making an optional grind mandatory. If you really want to be any kind of competitive or any kind of situation like that, you're going to have an advantage over someone that doesn't have that. And that's where I kind of lose this. But that's why I'm also optimistic. I'm okay if it's maybe quite small. If, let's say, they drop it down to an extra survivability, basically, so which would be near 5%, and they lower some of these down to where normal flags are, and these values could be tweaked, that they are still a slight advantage, but not too much. I think some of the values we see here, 20% to rudder shift, that's seriously somebody hitting their shots compared to somebody that's not hitting their shots. These rewards, which look like Wargaming is going to keep these rewards, that's fine. Okay, sure, if they're set in stone that they want to do this. I wish they could do more a customized, cosmetic. Maybe just give more flags like the military month flag, more captain XP, more free XP. They could do that, more credits, whatever, and help people with the grind. I wish they would go that. If they do this, I just think these need to be tweaked so low, but then offer some other stuff. Offer some cool, better ways of earning XP, earning credits, having mountable flags that you can buy with certain ones that are only available on certain lines. There's so much they could do. Offer more coal. They're pumping out more and more coal ships. There's so much that they could do without giving an advantage to ships that have with and without. My fear is that we're going to run into a certain situation like we had with steel, where there is the people without that get really mad at the people with, and they have the right to. Wargaming makes these kind of boundaries and these walls that people have a hard time getting over. They just don't have the time or the ability to. I don't like making exclusivity things like this. I don't think you need to give the better players a better advantage over the worst players. I don't really think that. The game itself, they have that. I feel like this has so much potential of being an amazing long-term investment for players and feel like you are getting better and getting rewarded for your thing, but this is just way too much. It's way too much. I just can't get behind this. And this is kind of my idea. I know this video, it's about a topic that's pretty nuts, so it's going to get a bunch of downvotes. So I appreciate all the upvotes, guys. I appreciate all the likes currently on the videos. We're getting back at it. Sorry I was on vacation. Vacation over at St. Petersburg was an awesome trip, and really learned a lot of stuff. But this is one of the main things in a topic, and I know this video is going to be way too long, and I apologize for rambling, but this is going to be pretty big. Also, one of the main things, this is going to be even more time gated for if people are worried about ranked and clan battles and blah, blah, blah. This is something that it's going to be limited on how many ranks you can use in those ranks and in those clan battle seasons. So that's going to be kind of nice. So when you go into rank battles or clan battles, you're not going to have people that are level 3 right off the start or relatively early compared to people with level 1. They are going to go out and actually say a max of rank 1. You're only going to get your rank 1 reward. That's going to be active, so your level 1 reward. So that is kind of nice, so you won't have a disadvantage. But it seems like random battles are probably going to be random battles, and event ships are probably going to be fair game open season. But it seems like rank battles and clan battles are going to be limited probably by a fair amount of time. So I mean, if you're playing in clan battles and your clan is new compared to a clan that's all, let's say, level 2'd, you're going to be have a big disadvantage. So it seems like they're going to limit the amount of levels you can do at the start for certain things like clan battles and rank battles, as we're seeing more and more rank sprint, rank battles, blah, blah, blah. So lots of questions. I will try to answer as many questions. Again, we are going to be going over lots of this on the stream, obviously, for the next few days. If I get anything from the devs that is not NDA, obviously a lot of this stuff is pretty NDA right now, but we can go off the information they're telling us. A lot of this is NDA, but I will be able to talk about it on stream, so definitely come check us out, twitch.tv/Mujash, and I'll try to keep a video. Again, I'll keep up to date with everything else going on because there's a bunch more updates, and we'll kind of touch on this in that video as well. But want to do a video just on this. Lots of confusion. I hope this video helps you guys out on figuring what's actually going on, and hope this answers some questions you guys might have. I'll try to answer as many questions down below that you guys might have as well, but again, the best way would be to come over and talk to us on Twitch. I'll be able to kind of do it live and answer a lot more there, and probably answer a lot of questions that maybe multiple people have. But anyways, guys, I'm interested in what you think. Again, I feel like there's so much promise in this. I love the idea of this. I just think it's a great concept ruined by a bad reward system. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.